My mother barred me from my father's funeral, then froze when she saw me at the grave. Call I wasn't supposed to get. In 2026, Malcolm Rivers sits alone in his penthouse apartment overlooking downtown Atlanta. Glass walls. Soft city lights. Silence that feels expensive but lonely. His phone vibrates. It's a call from his younger cousin, Jordan. Uncle Raymond is gone. The words hit slow. Then all at once. Malcolm stands, pacing across marble floors. His father. The man who taught him to tie a tie. The man who stopped calling when Malcolm refused to follow the family's political path. The man his mother, Veronica Rivers, quietly erased from Malcolm's life after the divorce. When is the burial? Malcolm asks. Jordan hesitates. Church service is tomorrow morning. The cemetery is after. Malcolm swallows. My mom didn't tell me. Jordan lowers his voice. She told everyone you're not welcome. Silence fills the penthouse again. Malcolm looks at the skyline. I'm still going. The next morning, Malcolm's phone remains silent. No message from his mother. No funeral details. No location. On social media, he sees the church, a massive glass and gold cathedral, full of luxury cars parked outside. Black Bentleys. White Rolls-Royces. His family's circle, politicians, donors, church elders, flooding the entrance. He dials his mother. Straight to voicemail. He texts. I know Dad's service is today. I'm coming. We can talk later. No reply. Malcolm exhales slowly. He changes into a navy blue luxury suit, tailored to perfection. Not to prove anything, but because grief deserves dignity. He decides. If I'm not welcome in the church, I'll meet my father where the truth can't be locked out, at the grave. Inside the cathedral, the service is grand. Soft organ music. White floral walls. Luxury cameras recording for the church live stream. Veronica Rivers sits in the front row, dressed in black silk, diamond earrings glinting under the lights. Beside her, family members whisper. Is Malcolm coming? Someone asks. Veronica stiffens. He chose not to be part of this family. Today is about Raymond's legacy, not his rebellion. The pastor speaks about Raymond as a pillar of legacy, discipline, and public respect. Malcolm's name is never mentioned. Not as a son. Not as family. Not even as an absence. Veronica closes her eyes, relieved. She believes she has won control over the narrative. She has no idea what's waiting at the cemetery. Across the city, Malcolm drives alone in a black luxury sedan. The streets blur. The city hums. His thoughts are loud. He remembers his father teaching him how to drive. Don't rush the road, Raymond used to say. You don't own the road. You share it. Malcolm parks near the cemetery entrance. Luxury cars begin to arrive behind him. Family convoy from the church. He steps out of the car calmly. No entourage. No security. Just a son who came anyway. The cemetery is quiet. Manicured grass. Marble tombstones. White tents prepared for the burial ceremony. As mourners step out of their vehicles, Veronica walks forward with practiced grace. Then she sees him, Malcolm, standing near the grave site. Hands clasped, eyes calm, suit sharp. For a second, the world stops. Veronica's face drains of color. You, she whispers under her breath. Family members turn. Whispers ripple. He came. I thought he wasn't allowed. Why is he here? Veronica walks toward him, heels sinking slightly into the grass. You weren't invited, she says tightly. Malcolm meets her eyes. You don't invite someone to bury their father. Silence spreads like a wave. Veronica lowers her voice. You embarrassed me. The church is full of people. They'll talk. Malcolm nods once. They always do. She clenches her purse. You left this family. You chose your own life. Don't come pretending now. Malcolm turns toward the coffin being lowered. I didn't come to pretend. I came to say goodbye to the man who taught me how to stand alone. Veronica's eyes burn. You think you're better than us now? Because of your money? Your penthouse? Malcolm shakes his head. No. I think grief doesn't need permission. The pastor clears his throat awkwardly. The crowd watches. Veronica steps back. For the first time in years, she has no control over the moment. As the coffin lowers, Malcolm steps forward. The air feels heavy. Cameras from a distance capture everything. He speaks softly. Dad, we didn't agree on everything. We didn't speak enough at the end. But you taught me how to walk away from pressure without hating the people who apply it. You taught me that being a man isn't obedience, it's integrity. A few relatives look down. Some shift uncomfortably. Malcolm continues. I'm sorry I wasn't allowed to say goodbye in church. But I'm here now. And I'll carry the good you gave me forward. He drops a single white rose. No drama. No shouting. Just truth. After the burial, conversations break into tense whispers. Veronica stands apart. Her sister approaches. You shouldn't have blocked him from the service, she says quietly. Veronica snaps. He defied our values. Her sister replies. No. He survived them. Across the lawn, Malcolm walks away alone. His phone vibrates. A text from his wife, Amara. I'm proud of you. You honored him without becoming them. Malcolm exhales. He doesn't feel victory. He feels release. That night, news clips circulate online. Estranged son appears at cemetery after being excluded from church funeral. Comments flood in. Some praise Malcolm's dignity. Some question the family's control. Veronica watches the clip in her luxury living room. She sees the way Malcolm stood, calm, unbroken. For the first time, something cracks inside her. Not guilt. Not apology. Fear. She realizes. Control couldn't erase him. Silence couldn't shrink him. Public exclusion couldn't humiliate him. Malcolm returns to his penthouse. The city lights glow. He stands by the window, remembering his father's voice. You don't own the road. You share it. He whispers softly. I learned, Dad. This story is not about revenge. It's about choosing presence over permission. It's about grief that doesn't wait to be approved. It's about showing up, even when someone powerful hopes you won't. 2 days after the burial, Malcolm receives a call from a private law firm in Buckhead. This is regarding Raymond Rivers' estate, the lawyer says. You're listed as a beneficiary. We need you present. Malcolm pauses. My mother didn't mention any of this. The lawyer exhales lightly. She requested a closed reading. The court denied it. When Malcolm arrives, the office is all glass walls and leather chairs. Veronica is already there, back straight, lips pressed thin. You didn't need to come, she says. The law says I do, Malcolm replies calmly. The lawyer opens the file. Raymond Rivers left personal letters to each of his children. He also left a private trust, separate from marital assets. Veronica's eyes flash. There was no trust. The lawyer looks up. There was. And Mr. Malcolm Rivers is a co-beneficiary. Silence drops heavy. For the first time, Veronica realizes she never knew everything about the man she married. Later that evening, Malcolm sits alone in his penthouse, the city breathing below him. The envelope in his hands feels heavier than money ever could. He opens the letter. If you're reading this, it means I didn't say enough while I could. Your mother and I loved differently. She loved order. I loved courage. Sometimes those things collide. When you chose your own path, I admired you quietly. I was afraid to say it loudly. I hope you never confuse silence with absence. I was with you in every brave step you took. Don't carry my regrets. Carry my respect for your independence. Dad. Malcolm's eyes sting. Not tears of pain. Tears of closure. For years, he wondered if his father saw him as disobedient. Now he knows. He was seen. He was respected. He was loved. Quietly. Veronica sends a message that night. We need to talk. Come for dinner tomorrow. Malcolm stares at the screen. His wife, Amara, sits beside him on the couch. You don't owe her access, she says gently. I know, Malcolm replies. But I owe myself clarity. The next evening, Malcolm arrives at his childhood home, a gated mansion in a luxury neighborhood. The same house where he learned to keep his voice low to avoid conflict. Inside, the table is set perfectly. Crystal glasses. Linen napkins. Everything polished. Veronica sits at the head of the table. You look well, she says stiffly. So do you, Malcolm replies, taking a seat, but not the one beside her. He chooses a seat across. Equal distance. Clear boundaries. The silence is thick. Dinner moves slowly. Forks scrape plates. No one mentions the cemetery. Then Veronica speaks. I didn't want you at the church because I didn't want questions. Malcolm nods. About why my own son doesn't fit the picture I present. Malcolm sets his fork down. You mean the picture where control looks like love? Veronica bristles. I protected this family's image for decades. And in doing that, Malcolm says calmly, you lost your son's presence. Her eyes flicker. I didn't think you'd come anyway. That's the part you misjudged, he replies. You taught me to show up for duty. I just chose a different duty. For the first time, Veronica's voice softens. I didn't know your father left you anything. Malcolm meets her gaze. He left me truth. The rest doesn't matter. As dinner ends, Veronica clears her throat. We can try to rebuild, she says. But I need you to be part of this family again. Malcolm stands. I am part of the family by blood. I am not part of control by choice. She frowns. You're making it difficult. No, he replies gently. I'm making it honest. He steps toward the door. I'll show up when there's respect, not when there's performance. Veronica doesn't follow him. She watches him leave, calm, unbowed, unowned. And for the first time in her life, she feels the weight of losing control over someone she thought she owned. Weeks later, Malcolm quietly launches the Rivers Legacy Fund. Not for image, not for headlines. The foundation supports young black professionals navigating family pressure, therapy access for men raised in emotionally rigid homes, legal resources for adults cut off by controlling families. At a small seminar, a young woman asks him, how do you honor your parents when they hurt you? Malcolm answers, you honor what they gave you without inheriting what they broke. The room goes still. That line travels farther than any funeral speech ever did. Veronica watches the foundation announcement on the news. She expects to feel proud. She feels replaced. Her sister says quietly, you raised a strong son. Veronica answers, I raised him to stay. Her sister corrects her. No, you raised him to stand. He just didn't stand where you wanted. Veronica looks away. No apology leaves her mouth. But the silence is no longer confident. It's lonely. 1 month later, Malcolm visits his father's grave alone. No cameras. No family. Just quiet. He places a small plaque beside the stone. Thank you for letting me be my own man. He steps back. He doesn't feel anger. He doesn't feel loss. He feels distance, the healthy kind, and peace, the earned kind. This story is not about disobedience. It's about dignity. It's not about rejecting parents. It's about rejecting control dressed as love. It's about choosing to grieve publicly even when someone powerful wants your silence. It's about building a future that doesn't require shrinking to belong. That night, Malcolm and Amara sit on their balcony overlooking the city. "Do you regret going?" she asks. "Not for a second," Malcolm replies. "Luxury still exists outside. Power still exists outside. Noise still exists outside. Inside, there is something rarer. A home that doesn't require permission. A love that doesn't negotiate dignity. And a life built on presence, not approval."